Welcome to the GCC podcast presented by Gateway. Today, we are delighted to feature Renzi Matthew, Managing Director and Global People Leader at Sabre Corporation, a dynamic people and business leader whose 2 decade career spans enterprise tech, gaming, and global travel platforms. She has led people and culture strategies across industries from gaming to travel tech, and now heading India operations for a global product powerhouse. Sabre Corporation is a global technology trailblazer powering the travel and hospitality ecosystem, helping airlines and hotels move millions of people every day through connected, intelligent platforms. And the website rightfully says the whole world of travel in one place. Renzi brings a unique blend of operational leadership and human capital expertise to the table. From leading transformation during mergers to building inclusive cultures across borders, Renzi has helped shape people strategies that are agile, empathetic, and business aligned. Her career reflects a deep belief in purposeful leadership where culture, capability, and care go hand in hand. Let's dive into a story of transformation, trust, and people powered growth.
No, absolutely good. One, of course, when I come here, I represent Sabre. I represent the people team as what we call in Sabre, but largely the HR ecosystem. But I also represent the industry, and it's always good to hear your profile again, because then you feel good to
Yes.
hear what you have achieved. Now,
So
of course,
much has been done. Yeah, so much has been
yeah,
done. I was, I'm absolutely impressed. And the amount of energy you show, I've met you in person. It's been a pleasure. And I also learned that, Sabre celebrating 20 years in India. So you're a mature GCC, if I was to say.
yeah, right.
Great. So I'll get started with the questions that we've lined up for you today. And I'll start with something that's more having a lens to the industry. How do you see the role of GCCs evolving in tech focused organizations, especially like yours? Because we know during COVID, travel had come to a standstill, and post pandemic, there's been such a surge of travelers. So, what innovation did you put in place to support this kind of change in trend?
So during COVID, Seva Bangalore, like our peer GCCs, quickly pivoted to virtual collaboration, leveraging agile methodologies and cloud native technologies powered by Google to keep mission critical travel systems running smoothly for airlines and travel agencies worldwide. As travel rebounded post pandemic, we delivered scalable solutions in record time, including advanced demand forecasting using AI/ML, dynamic inventory management, and we rolled out targeted NDC-enabled retailing enhancements, expanding ancillary and bundle offerings across multiple airline partners. GCCs like ours are not just adapting, we are actively shaping the next generation of travel experiences. Sabre
Yeah.
Bangalore is at the heart of driving Sabre's global technology strategy, acting not just as a delivery center, but as a true innovation engine for the company. We leveraged AI/ML capabilities in partnership with Google to build Sabre Travel AI to improve fare pricing accuracy, predict demand surges better, and optimize airline operations in real time. We implemented several innovation event formats that were focused on providing our team members the space and platform they needed to build solutions that address specific customer challenges. We nurtured a thriving ecosystem of tech communities and communities of practice that are constantly experimenting, collaborating, and driving innovation both with Sabre and in how we deliver value to our customers. Overall, it all sounds positive and promising for the travel sector.
Yes. So, I mean, thanks for sharing the tech scene behind Sabre. That's a lot of achievement, especially in the post-pandemic times when the surge had to be handled. And I'm sure it's going to only get better in terms of travel experience for a lot of us, like frequent travelers. So I'll move my lens to what is more focused on function. You've successfully guided organizations through M&As, org redesigns, and the multi-country HR transformations. What principles anchor your approach, when navigating large scale change? And how do you ensure the employee experience stays intact across geographies while the business is evolving? I mean, what does it take to build a value driven, scalable culture in such globally distributed setup?
Approach to transformation is anchored in transparency, trust, and purpose driven leadership. These values help teams navigate ambiguity with clarity. We have made several changes to our organizational structure in recent times to ensure that we remain focused, agile, and lean. Throughout these changes, our focus has been on maintaining clarity of narrative, why we are doing this, how it aligns with our mission, and what's in it for our people. We prioritize transparency with our teams, leveraging open forums like our town halls, the all hands, and people leader connect sessions to ensure that our team members have a voice. We view employee experience as a continuous journey, even during key transformation changes. We keep team members being growth and psychological safety at the forefront. We also invest in leadership development, inclusion programs, and employee recognition initiatives that are meaningful to our regional context while aligned with our global vision. We endeavor to foster a culture of innovation, recognition, inclusivity, and learning agility, especially through our robust community and ERG programs, ensuring that our team members feel valued and are ready to grow as business evolves. Our partnership with local universities, tech communities, and DI initiatives help us build a truly sustainable and diverse talent pipeline. Ultimately, a high trust, learning oriented, and inclusive culture is our greatest asset during any transformation within the organization.
That's lovely. Thank you so much for sharing that. And, that really sets the character of the organization. So it's great to know. Just putting on what comes in the future and setting, our expectations of the future from leadership that continue to evolve with more focus on empathy, flexibility, and purpose. What shifts do you believe HR and business leaders must embrace to stay relevant in the next decade? And what will define effective people leadership in the future of work? I mean, we're looking 5 years from now. What are your thoughts on this?
So when I look at leadership is not about having all the answers, right? It's about curating the right questions, creating safe and empowered workspace, and enabling innovation. HR and business leaders must move away from being policy enforcers to culture shapers and employee experience architects. Talent today, especially Gen Z and millennials, are drawn to organizations that align with their values, sustainability goals, and social impact. Hence, purpose driven leadership will be non negotiable. At Sabre Bangalore, we embed purpose not just in what we build, but how we lead. From supporting women in tech to volunteering and giving back through programs like Give Together. Empathy and flexibility aren't just buzzwords at Sabre. They transition to hybrid work models, personalized career paths, and employee experience initiatives that reflect individual needs of our team members. Leaders of the future must be digitally fluent, emotionally intelligent, and you mentioned that while you were asking me the question, and ethically grounded, balancing data driven design with human centered decisions. They must champion empathy and psychological safety, where diverse perspectives are welcomed and innovation thrives. Effective people leaders in the future will be measured by inclusion, trust, and our ability to harness technology to amplify, not replace human potential. I think finally, resiliency and agility, not just as skills, but as mindsets, will define the next decade of successful people leadership.
Great. Thank you. So that was really the podcast, the core part. And now I'm moving to something that's more fun. We have 3 rapid fire questions for you, and that'll help us just know you more as a person. So I'll get started. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. So, what's your comfort food on a stressful work day?
Like everybody else, if you ask this question, the simplest of foods, right? I like a simple, plain rice and fish curry. It could be a simple, bisi bele baat, a simple puliyogre, that kind of
Yeah,
a thing.
something. Yeah, I think a lot of us would choose khichdi, for instance. Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
Thank you. What's that one thing you never start your day without?
I think the first thing that I do is, which comes from my faith, is starting with thanks that you woke up
Gratitude, yes.
every morning, right? Because if you read the research, there are multiple people who pass away while they're asleep, and
Yeah,
if you
true.
see the reports nowadays, age doesn't matter. It can happen to anybody, any age. Yeah, right. With our lifestyles and everything else, right? So the first thing I do is thank that I woke up and I have a new day to live again and achieve whatever goals that I have set for myself.
Sure, thanks. I think that's happening to a lot of us today. Starting your mornings with a gratitude prayer. So thanks for sharing that. My last one on this is, are you a pen and a notebook person or an all digital when it comes to taking notes or, making a brief of any meeting?
Actually, I like to write because if you know that when you write, there are these new neurons get created in your head. Yeah, that's right. But unfortunately, when I write, I can't read my own handwriting. In fact, I remember in my college days, my friends used to tell me that you should have been a doctor. I think your handwriting tells me that you should have been a doctor. So I like to write. I do write. And just on the previous question, I do gratitude journaling every day,
Okay.
right?
Oh,
Like I
lovely.
do this thing where I write 5 things that I'm thankful for today is what I do. Right. But of course, everything else that I will of course create digitally because it's just easy to see them during my meetings and, take notes and all that.
Okay, great. That brings us to the end, and thank you so much for joining us. And lovely to have you here. And I'm sure I'll meet you in the coming few weeks as well.
Thank you so much. It's been such a wonderful talking to you, right? Sharing my perspective, like I said, in all 3 areas that I'm passionate about. It was a great session. Looking forward to fact that, I think people will like it and people will learn something out of it. And that's why we create all these podcasts, right? So I'm
Yes,
looking
there's a
forward to
lot of,
that.
I've had a lot of GCC leaders actually voice their insights and thoughts, also share their journey. So this has been great. Thank you so much.